Tyrone. How are you? Yeah, good as gold. You're travelling well, mate. You're travelling real well. Well, look, I'll tell you today, they're going to test you. I hope so anyway. I want something to call. Good luck, mate. A very warm welcome to FA coverage on this extraordinary season. It's round 23, but it's match 18 as we return after the second lockdown here in Victoria. And I reckon we've just about got the mismatch of the season, but who knows, in this extraordinary year. It's the St Albans Saints in against the Avengers from Avondale, who are top of the ladder and threaten to go 10 points clear if they can win this one this afternoon. It's redemption time for the Saints. They've got to start winning. And what better place to start if they can here at Avenger Park this afternoon. We're a bit of a different view because we're broadcasting from the grandstand side of the ground this afternoon. And the Avengers, who have been red hot this season, they are 7 points clear at the moment and threaten to go 10 clear if they can win. But who knows? The Saints might bring game this afternoon in the orange and white St Albans. They're heading to the right of screen toward the city end of Avenger Park and the mighty Avengers. And the all blue to the left of screen down toward the social club end. No fans in, of course, because of the restrictions here in Melbourne. So one way or the other, they're going to be watching on for maybe the upset of the season, or maybe the Avengers just stamping their authority on this competition. As Avondale move it clear out of the back half, patient, early going. First minute of play. Avondale undefeated in 14, and in fact, if you count the cup run, undefeated in 18. So they are travelling well just about now as Reid puts it upfield. Valentini's first touch was awkward, so St Albans have come clear with it. Big bold running from Tib, I reckon it was. It's a really very vibrant orange too, I can tell you right now. It's an eye catcher. Avengers through Trachevsky, they're so measured. Once they press the go button, Towns traverses the half line, the nimble number 13, knocks it upfield. Ahmed, 6 goals this year. That bloke Valentini, he's got 12. Stefan Valentini's actually outscored St Albans this season. Saints have only hit the target 9 times overall. A little bit too clever in the end then, and away. And out of play on that far side. Katabian gets a start for the Avengers this afternoon. Early going, scoreless game. 18th of the season. It's a really, really important one for St Albans. Particularly with Dandenong City getting up last night over the Melbourne Knights. Avengers go patiently around the cape. Ahmed, drag and roll, goes outside, scoots past one. And it's going to be an Avengers ball. That late challenge from Miranda Real. And he may well go in the book as well. So Yusuf Ahmed dangerous down that left-hand side, brought to ground, and it's Avengers ball. Right on the perimeter of the penalty area. Not much of an angle to work with. Scoreless game on this Saturday afternoon. Hit toward the near post. They'll wrestle it away. Dylan Jacoupy just watches it lazily bounce over the line on that usually the broadcast side of the ground. Extraordinary to think about it. In the opening month of the season, the Saints were on top of Avondale on the ladder. Yusuf Ahmed tried to dance away from the defenders. Trachevsky. And the ball lands in the hands of the goalkeeper at that Social Club end. When they met in round 10, Saints were doing it right till around about the half-hour mark. Red card, saw their goalkeeper out of the game. Stefan Valentini scored from the penalty area. Yusuf Ahmed got a couple, and that was all she wrote. And that was that point of the season when Avondale was starting to career away from the rest. It's a scoreless game here. 4 minutes played. On this rather reasonably winter warm afternoon at Avenger Park. No spectators, so do our best to bring you all the action as Avondale again move it down that, manoeuvre it down that left-hand side. Ahmed hits traffic, ball careers loose and goes high. That was really well done then. Towns to keep it alive. And it goes outside. This is just good stuff. They're slick, aren't they? And the goalkeeper clears from the angle, and away comes St Albans awkwardly, and in the end it just races away, and Avondale will get a quick throw in taken. Soren Markowski, this is his 51st NPL game in charge of the Avengers. He's got a terrific record, a great through ball, a crash tackle, up in the air it goes, and he's going to call it a referee against the Saints, and despairing looks all round, but Trojevsky hit the deck and the referee had no hesitation at that Social Club end. So just as it happened up at Churchill Reserve in round 10, the Avengers have the chance to open the scoring with a penalty, and this bloke, Stefan Valentini, he is red hot. He's scored 4 in his last 2. 12 for the season and a chance to nail it for 13, but nothing guaranteed. The wind blowing just across the ground, but it's fairly slight. We've played 6 minutes, and Stefan Valentini, who is the man of the hour, 12 for the season, 3 more than St Albans total. No nerves about him. Stands and nails it. Well, as you like in the early going. 6 minutes in, and the Avengers, who would have guessed? They were unbackable to start the game, and now they're a goal ahead. And the Saints take a slap across the face early going in this one. It's 1-0, and Stefan Valentini nails his 13th of the year. Well, the trick for the Avengers right now is how they switch the chess pieces around, because they've got to butter up on Tuesday night in the Doherty Cup semi-final against Port Melbourne. They've got a really hectic schedule. In fact, all the clubs do, because there's such a backlog of games. The referee having a long discussion with a couple of the Avenger players. Launched long and high and deep, and it just bounces away to the tree-lined end. The Saints haven't given a squeak yet. It's a 1-0 game. Stefan Valentini, who in fact joins esteemed company. It's his 46th game. He's now scored 24 career. So he joins Liam Boland, who's not in the side this afternoon, as the only other Avenger player to score in every other game that he's played. So he's doing all right, Valentini. So some brooding skies here in Parkdale, but no rain as we speak. In fact, a lovely burst of sunshine across the ground. It's a really pretty stadium, boutique stadium here at Avenger Park. It's an absolute beauty, actually. Saints have never beaten Avondale in the NPL anyway. So already a few of the familiar faces in the Avondale lineup being switched around, presumably to conserve fitness over the testing weeks to come. So Hillier with plenty of acreage to work with. Square ball Towns outside for Reed. It almost hops away from him. Powers it upfield. They're up by 1. Penalty scored on 6 from Stefan Valentini. Dandenong City's win last night, putting even more pressure on St Albans as Ahmed runs, ghosts into the penalty area. Yusuf Ahmed. He's closed down. Good stuff by the Saints defence. He waits. The give for Rickett Benes just went powering into the penalty area, into the 6-yard box, into the hot spot. They'll come again. Katavian can't control it. Away by the Saints. Scrambled, half clear anyway. Avengers have the numbers. And I'll just wipe the beads of sweat away and manoeuvre it upfield again. Katavian pops it in the air. Too hot for Valentini, and out of play on that broadcast side, which we are not in on this afternoon. It's a 1-0 game. The wind just gusts up. It's certainly favouring St Albans. Going from left to right. It's a 1-0 game. The Avengers looking to mark their territory as the top dogs in the competition. Patient and measured. It's incredible that after round 3 earlier this year, Saints had beaten the Melbourne Knights that weekend, but they haven't won since. Green Gully won here against the Avengers, and that was Avondale's last loss. So significant turning fortunes for both teams as Saints try to work it to safety, and they do. They're going to be on alert all afternoon. St Albans. This team is irrepressible once they're in the mood. The Avengers. We've played nearly 12. A couple of big games to come this afternoon in the NPL. It's been an extraordinary season, a surreal season. A couple of breaks because of lockdown, of course. And again, that odd feeling when there's no fans in the stadium. Ahmed it almost bounced away from him. Tried to make it good. It's going to be a Saints ball from the current broadcast side. Hart will trundle across. He leaves it. St Albans just... everything looks hard work for St Albans at the moment. Valentini was in there. He swept it. Back foot reverse for Trachevsky. Jacobi goes loping into the front half as he's prone to do the right foot to the top of the penalty area. Great spin out of trouble by Towns. He comes up against the numbers. And that will take a cannon off a Saints player, I reckon. And again, the referee this time having words with Morek from St Albans. In those 14 games since their last win, the Saints, they've only scored 5 times. They've gone scoreless in 9 games. They've really got to find something, though, starting today, if they're going to avoid those 2 relegation places. And again, a very spirited discussion. Trachevsky, good sport, top stuff. Back to the goalkeeper. Just having a look at Zoran Markowski's coaching record. So this is his 51st game. He's lost only 7 career, and yet still nothing to show for it. That makes that Doherty Cup semi-final on Tuesday night for the Avengers important. Get another invitation to a big dance. And if they can just break that drought, I think they'd be pretty damn happy about that. So the skipper just measures it toward half field. Ricabene sweeps it back, so they'll hang on to the football. They're so good at this. They'll just wait and wait. And like Black Ops, they'll just pounce. Nearly quarter of an hour away, and not unexpectedly, Avengers in the lead, but they certainly have not, as Towns goes to ground under the challenge from Hart, and it's going to be an Avengers ball from just about half field on this Saturday afternoon at Avenger Park. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Benny inside for Ahmed's been busy. Garcia goes outside for Ricabene. Garcia, what a gift he's been to the Avengers. So impressive. Playing that sort of quarterback role in the middle of the paddock. Oh, that crossfield right-left ball was magnificent, except according to the official on that far side, who flagged, and the Saints will get the turnover. Well, the handbrake isn't off yet in this one. They're still feeling each other out. St Albans still well in it on the scoreboard. The captain, Jordan Wilkes, is barking out instructions as the Saints will move it deep into their own territory, header away by the skipper of Avondale. Wind gusting up and dark clouds looming. Hopefully that inclement weather stays away. Avengers by 1. Ricabene waits. Again, same old Garcia for the captain, who builds up a head of steam, traverses the half line and powered away. Almost taking out our cameraman this afternoon. There's a look of terror in his eyes as that ball came spinning toward him. Jacoby tried to edge him off the footy. Nothing to him, Dylan Jacoby. Force feed upfield. They'll get it back. They're all over this. The Avengers, and angled away. Time by Monek. So again, the yellow alert button for St Albans. They've managed to keep the tide out to this point anyway. Valentini, the goal scorer from the penalty spot. There he is, the man of the hour, Stefan Valentini. Tries to thread it for Ahmed. He'll fetch it himself, goes deep, tries to angle it back, does really well. Wilkes with the clearance for the saves. They hold their lines, but only just. St Albans. Towns again. Stefan Valentini went to ground, across, very, very deep. Katavian was waiting, but Saints will clear. So still 1-0. And still the Bunsen burner hasn't been lit under the Avengers yet. And Saints yet to really offer anything that suggests that they can reel this one in, but you never know. It's been an extraordinary season, the NPL here in Victoria. And directing traffic. It's the captain back, Rory Bryan, and off we go again. Barcia's radar is immaculate. You just see his eyes darting about every time the footy is to his feet. Trachevsky, nowhere to go, rounds the corner. Siv Ahmed scored a couple against Saints up at Churchill earlier in the year. Trachevsky keeps it in, Houdini style, good stuff. Spins his way toward the penalty area, and he draws a crowd. Stefan Valentini slides it for Barcia, who looks and Ahmed. Cabene, and again, they'll take it back, take out the micrometer, do the measurements, and here they come again. Saints all toil and sweat and hard work, but it's about the extent of it. Yusuf Ahmed, so gifted as well, isn't he? Barcia. Knocks that ball long down the line, breaks on for the Avengers into the penalty area. Valentini, and he gets under that one as he lost his balance, and it loops over the goal face and nowhere near on target, but he was never balanced as he swiveled onto that. So it's still 1-0. We've played 20, nearly 21. At Avenger Park this afternoon, it is, if anybody remembers, the Socceroos against, who was it? 31-0, I think it was that day. Samoa, it may have been, 31-0. That's the sort of mismatch they were talking about here this afternoon. But right now, on the scoreboard, St Albans still in it. The build-up was something. This is the best they've done. They're winding it down that right-hand side. And Saints with the chance to score. He was free and clear and looked for that top corner. Did Batasevic. It wasn't that far away. That was very un-Avenger-like then. He had some room to move and some time to consider, and it wasn't far off the mark. So Saints head back. 22 minutes played, FV action. Round 23, but match day 18. Ahmed. He couldn't scoot away, could he? So Saints growing, maybe just a little bit in confidence. Kim. And they're getting some men forward. St Albans, the shot on the turn. And now I tell you what, there's a few concerns in the Avengers' defence, is that shot from Hart just sort of whistled across the goal face. And all of a sudden some robust voices amongst the Avondale defenders as Rory Bryan goes down to fetch the football at that beautiful tree-lined end of the ground here in Parkville. 1-0. The Avengers lead, penalty. 6 minutes in from Valentini, and that's the way it stays. So currently Avondale 10 clear at the top of the ladder. Unbelievable stuff, but the tough stuff really still to come as they play around the Cape again. The captain, so good. Towns, deep. Rangy. Reed to midfield. Oh, gee. Well, it was a fairly emphatic no, not this time. So no real fizz to this game. I guess that once again another break this season. It's the second. You just don't know how that affects players physically and emotionally, as a matter of fact. I reckon St Albans in the vibrant orange are starting to warm to this. If they could get a result here at Avenger Park this afternoon, wouldn't that give them a fillip heading into the business end of the year? They've been involved in a three-way struggle against relegation. Dandenong City getting up last night. It's going to be a corner, St Albans. Oh, danger ball into the red zone. Good take from Rory Bryan. He just watched it into his hands. It's as you like at the moment for the Avengers, to some extent anyway. Scoreboard tells another story. Trajewski winds up. Barcia, first time ball. That was an enterprising chase from Dylan Jacoupy. But Usain Bolt, I reckon, would have struggled with that. It's a 1-0. Scoreline this afternoon. Interesting to see with this hectic schedule as we're talking about. So Avondale have got Port Melbourne on Tuesday night in the Doherty Cup, and then South Melbourne here on Wednesday night, and then of course there's the FFA Cup and a backlog of fixtures in the league as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the crew at Football Victoria orchestrate the remainder of the season. Free kicks in Albans. A different look this afternoon in our Football Victoria broadcast because we're coming from the main grandstand side this afternoon. Certainly for the very last day of July, midwinter here in Melbourne, you probably couldn't ask for better weather conditions. Reasonably still as Kim wipes away the perspiration. About 16, 17 degrees coming into the game. The long loft is going to go way, way too deep. It just hit an air pocket and away it went. So potentially a wasted opportunity. St Albans have hit back a couple of times, produced a couple of, well, I suppose you could generously consider half chances. So good stuff by the Saints. There's an extraordinary contrast. Avondale ranked first in attack, first in defence, best goal difference in the comp. St Albans, the polar opposite, ranking last in every category. So it'll be a monumental turnaround if they could win here this afternoon. The chop out then was really good by the captain. because the run was on from Mohammed Boss. No doubt about it. He was powering through. So Valentini's penalty early in the game, the only thing separating these two, and the Avengers yet to wield their magic wand. They've been compelling at times this year, irrepressible at times. He didn't need much of a leap then, did he? The big fella. So we head edge toward the half hour. Valentini inside a defensive half. He galloped away, danced away, jumped a tackle. Stefan Valentini. He's in rare form. Valentini, Jacobi, Ahmed. There he is, Valentini again. More goals than Saints all season, this one. For Stefan Valentini, runs past one challenge. Rickabenate. He's just pressured away from getting a shot in. Towns down for Trajewski. Saints defence stands tall. Garcia under pressure. He saw it out the corner of his eye. Good stuff again, but that is straight into the waiting arms of the goalkeeper at that social club end. Hasn't been challenged as much as you'd imagine he might be. He certainly break does no one any favours. And that's another that's another one of those emphatic clearances. Murray. Oh dear, the slip might be fatal. Dib went down. Ahmed through one, past two. Wilkes stood his ground bravely to Jordan Wilkes. And Saints live through a mini crisis. That was top stuff from Jordan Wilkes. It could have been knife through the heart stuff, but it wasn't. 0. Nowhere to go. You know, getting the numbers back as Saints try and force it forward. Murray. Double team is on. Going to have to force it where there's no room to force it, and eventually it's turned over. Stefan Valentini's the only man up for the Avengers, and his ambition was met with an affirmative away by Dib. Batavian. Avondale, I reckon they're starting to feel a little bit of pressure from the Saints because they can't nail them. And they've been bailing a bit of water out of the rowboat in the last 10 minutes or so. St Albans know. Saints know they're in this. And Avondale's starting to probably come to grips with the fact that that is the case. That was good stuff by Jacobi. But his delivery upfield was into no man's land, and St Albans in the eye-catching orange. Oh, the ball into space for Trajewski. And in the end, well, in the end, he was forced away, lost his angle, and his shot, which he might have taken a little earlier, just goes whizzing over the crossbar at the social club end. So lots of frustration, just a little now. I reckon he knew he could have produced something a little better. Restart from the social club. No fan, just Just that really odd, surreal feeling with no fans in the ground. Belted away by Dibb, airborne. Does it take a good bounce for the Saints? Not quite. And you can hear the voice from the Saints bench. I reckon they know they've got a sniff of this right now. They're feeling pretty good about the world, St Albans. Dibb to Hart, first time, ball over the top, not clear. Avondale fight their way through a crisis, a mini crisis. Garcia lofted. Chevsky draws it in down that right lane. Detour. Almost spills for Ahmed. The orange shirts went out again. Growing in confidence, St Albans. This would be the upset of the season if they could get a result here. And Hart was not particularly happy because he had some room to move down this right-hand side. It's a 1-0 game still. 33 and a half played. 34. And Avondale by the barest of margins. A penalty early on. Stefan Valentini with his 13th of the season, equal top scorer in the competition right now with the big fella from Hume, Josh Bingham. Ahmed pops up on that right-hand side now. He's overrun by Parascus, and again, I reckon they're really starting to enjoy the platform and the afternoon and the weather, the Saints. So the right-left ball is going to make Tavian work for it. Towns, gentle. Garcia. So Avenger-like in their delivery, but you can hardly be surprised that Zoran Markowski's got such an impressive record, because he played in a couple of national titles with the Melbourne Knights back in the day in the NSL. They weren't half bad, that mob. Towns spins out of trouble, nowhere to go. So it's still 1-0 as we head toward half-time. Yusuf Ahmed just scoots away from two challenges, but again, the lanes slows down to him. Avondale patient. Oh, the good outside ball for Rickett Benet. Yeah. It's going to be the Saints ball. It was right behind the camera, and then who's doing a great job, but I couldn't see a thing. He's terrific. FV coverage this afternoon, first of 4 games this afternoon, 2 matches last night. Dandenong City over the Melbourne Knights by 2-0. And of course the Bentley Greens with a 2-0 win up at Green Gully. That was significant as well. Valentini, powerful forced angled header, but Saints will clear the lines only as far as Trejchevsky. He's waiting for something. Jakubi's the outside runner. He hits that target into the danger zone, and Katavian couldn't nail it. It was off the line, and Saints live again. Living dangerously, but there's a pulse there. Don't worry about it. It's a 1-0 game. The Avengers lead it. But Katavian in. That's probably the best chance of the game. And now the bench is getting a talk to. The Avondale bench is getting a talk to. So a robust discussion. And see if we can get the restart. We've played 37 and a half in St Albans. I reckon they're in this one. I reckon they know they're in this one. And the Avengers Well, they're the best finishers in the league, but right now they've got quite the battle to move through against a more and more determined opposition. That's a good ball, straight down the middle, force clear. They are growing in confidence though, aren't they? Jacoby's got a little bit of time to think about it. Swivel to his goalkeeper at the city end of the ground. Jacoby Trojevski rather. And again, spurned a couple of chances. That's Dylan Jacoby. Away by Jordan Wilkes. Broad-chested skipper of St Albans in this season of tests and troubles. To look back in the record, St Albans against Avondale, apart from that game earlier in the year, and they've never beaten the Avengers, but there's always been a goal, only a goal or so in it, in every game that they've played in the NPL years anyway. And right now there's only that goal in it. Dangerous ball. They have numbers, St Albans. Kim, it's knocked in the air. Sims under pressure, back for the impassioned Ciudad Real. It's a really, really odd feeling about this one. Avengers have not proceeded to dominate as expected. Yusuf Ahmed dances in, and that should be Katabian. What a great pick-off. I reckon that was, that might have been Jib, I reckon. That was terrific stuff. So again, they're holding fast, St Albans, as we head toward half-time. They've been tested a couple of times, but Chrissy Deb, Jordan Wilkes and the likes have ensured that they're not being overrun. St Albans are well in this one as we edge toward half-time. Stuff from Monic and Avengers away. I reckon it's been even Stevens for a while. So I wonder if Zoran Markowski will big old shove. I'm not sure. I wouldn't have let that one go, but it's going to be Avengers ball. Garcia unsure. Squares it up. Percentage ball. So Avondale heading toward the interval with a 1-0 lead thanks to a very, very early on Stefan Valentini penalty, and that's certainly incentive for St Albans in the second half. Garcia. Towns. Lazy triangle, so we go again with Towns. Looks for Riccobene. Plenty of leather for the Avondale side, but waiting for something to open up. And right now, St Albans are not allowing them to do that. Player goes to ground. It's going to be a free kick and maybe a yellow card. I think it's against Chris Dibb. Avondale free kick. 42 played in this 18th game of the season. Avondale's remarkable record-breaking run, club and season best. Now, perhaps extending to 15 in a row. 45 and a bit to come in this one. As Riccobene gets to Well, he did well actually because he was bullied and pushed. And Jacoby, nowhere to go. He's so good at that though. Just recalibrating and starting again. Hanging on to the football, waiting for the opportunities to come. Joe Katavian lofts one. Edge of the penalty area. Valentini. It's a mad scramble, skidding wheels in the mud. Everyone then. And Saints come away. Perhaps the better chances falling the way of Avondale in this first half, but nothing convincing in neither the scoreline or the way the game is starting to reveal itself. 43 and a half away. First half of the 18th game in round 23 of the season. If you can't make sense of that, well, fair enough. Because the second lockdown, Avondale came back. Well, the only side perfect after the last lockdown were Avondale. They won 4 in a row and then we were shut down again, so they didn't mind a break last time. Sounds Cabene. Patience, possession. Barcia plays into the stratosphere all of his own sometimes. Ahmed. Well, he did well to hold his place in the contest. Slightly helped use of Ahmed. And Barcia then just wanted it, didn't he? So the last 60 seconds inside there of this first half in regulation will not be too much time added on for stoppage, I wouldn't have thought. How about that challenge? Good stuff. Ref lets it go. Katavian goes outside. For Dylan Jacoby, he sets off, hits second gear, has to slow it down, hits the touches at the brakes and gets the cross in right to the 6-yard box. Jordan Wilkes clears for the Saints. And right on the stroke of 45, that's all there is for the first half. And St Albans got plenty to play for. They're right in the contest. Avondale lead it by a goal to nil. A very early penalty. 12th goal of the season from Stefan Valentini. But I reckon the second 45 minutes, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. So stick with us. We'll be back for the second half from Avenger Park in just a moment. So, welcome back to Avengers Stadium in Parkville on this Saturday afternoon. It's round 23 of the NPL season in Victoria. Game 18, though. And right now, it's in the balance. The Avengers lead, visiting St Albans by a goal to nil. A very early penalty. Stefan Valentini nailing it. But St Albans are well in this one. So 45 big minutes to come as Jordan Wilkes to Brown. They will be heading to the left of screen toward the social club end. The Avengers, the hottest ticket in town on most game days, but right now they're probably just a little bit threatened by St Albans, who've been pugnacious, if nothing else. Barcia. Good players make other players better, and Barcia does that, there's no doubt about it. He's a quality player as Barcia, as Towns goes through traffic. Jachewski tries to race away, gets the return ball from Valentini, he got scragged. He goes down as well. I reckon the first challenge was worth a look at, but Saints are going to get away with it. Sims, that's drawn in Katavian. He was prowling and waiting in the crossfield ball. Jordan Wilkes lofts it in the air. The contest is on. Second half action. And Avondale know they need to. They're going to have to dig in and work for this one, I reckon. They're the best finishers in the league, but you can't rely on that. Barcia waits. Sounds so elegant, so balanced. Just as I say it, he hits the deck. Barcia for Ahmed. Outside runner. Oh, I tell you what, Valentini got a toe to that one as Bene managed to cross in. It's out of play. Deep toward the corner flag at the city end of Avenger Park. Second half just started. Saints ball. A couple of huge games to come this afternoon. Throw in eventually. Katavian lofts the header down that right lane and out of play again. Bagaric, he'll get take two with the throw in. Probably advanced it a few yards anyway. So the breeze starting to pick up. It's heading to the right of screen, favouring Avondale. Out of place, so the referee wants it to come back. So really sluggish stop-start to this second half. Throw in Dylan Jacoupy. Hillier goes outside for James Riccobene. So no Boland this afternoon, no Zinni, no Lundy. They've got a really, really strong bench strength. Avondale going to need it in the weeks to come. Katavian round the corner. Jacoupy gallops after it. Wilkes went with him and the ball out of play. At that scoreboard end, reads 1-0 Avondale. So the pundits, I reckon they wouldn't have thought there'd be just this slender margin in it, but Saints have come knowing that they've got some really, really hard spade work to do if they're to pull out of this relegation battle. Brown into the breeze. It's going to float away from two St Albans players. Joey Katavian wants to get it going quickly. And instead lofts it back, percentage for Reed. And off they go again. Hillier. Sometimes the Avengers are lustrous and they shine, but this afternoon it's going to be more about hard work to get rid of a really determined opponent. St Albans in that eye-catching orange away strip. Over. midfield. They work it through Katabian. The numbers were back there. And St Albans will clear. Good running, hard running from Monik. Out of play, but there's a glint in their eyes, the Saints. They are still in it on the scoreboard. And if they could strike back and put a bit of fear in the Avengers, might be game on. So penalty very early on, Stefan Valentini. His 13th, his 13th of the year. Is all that separates these two sides. Bagaric sort of lazily walks down the sideline. It's the throw into are chasing it as Brian swept it clear, but Monik was keeping him honest. They're up for the battle as Saints. Avengers got some work to do, and that was a stray ball in the end from James Riccobene. Avondale have got Port on Tuesday night, Doherty Cup semi-finals. So another chance for Avondale to finally break the drought and get some silverware in the cupboard. So many really significant games coming up for the Avengers. It's going to test them. It's a long but difficult one for Trojevski. Almost tracked it down. Jordan Wilkes thumps it away emphatically. It's going to be a throw to the Avengers. It was Avondale with that impressive record, 15 of their goals this year. Just go with that. Barcia with a beauty, and Brown with a great round the corner. Top stuff from Barcia, and the stop was equally good. So a little bit of heart in mouth stuff to start the second half. We played 51 and a tick, and it's still 1-0 Avengers. A second might dampen the spirits of St Albans, but right now they're holding fast. Corner. City end to the Avengers. Near post. It just kind of strolled across the penalty area, past everybody, and out of play in the end. And it's going to be Avondale's ball. And trudging down to restart is Riccobene. He puts it on the tee. You can see the corner flag there favouring the Avengers. Far post, big reach by the goalkeeper. Valentini was lurking, and it's going to be an Avondale corner. He just got a fingertip to it, did Brown. It's a 1-0 game, and St Albans hanging in there. Good stuff from the Saints. The palm goes airborne, comes down with icicles on it. Turnover. Riccobene, square ball, top of the box. Trojevski, ball gets a cannon. Orange shirts there on alert, no doubt. And cleared. And as far as Ahmed, Trojevski's been busy. Had a really good chance in the first half. Hillier. Oh, Barcia, he gets his one, well, it was almost his one error for the game. Turnover though. Saints, Mohamed Boss got a little bit too ambitious for his own good, and Town swoops. Ahmed running outside, almost lost the run of the football. Got a little bit of acreage to work with, Yusuf Ahmed. Got two against Saints up at Churchill earlier in the year. And it's going to be another corner. They are starting to knock at the door, the Avengers. It's their third corner in a couple of minutes. But nobody's been able to kick it off its hinges at this point. It's still 1-0. 54 played. So much at stake for St Albans. And a 10-point lead at the top of the table for Avondale, which would be the biggest margin of any team of the four teams that have topped the ladder this year. Corner, City, and near post leap was good. Valentini was spectacular. He went airborne. It's going to be a Saints ball. So what was a rather tepid first half is starting to wind up to something a little bit more significant. A few chances. And St Albans still now well in it with about 35 to play. No fans in because of the regulations in Victoria. Oakley hosting Port Hume, hosting South Melbourne later today. A couple of really, really big games to come. The Premier League in Victoria has been magnificent this season, and hopefully it's regathered some momentum after the break. St Albans, speaking of momentum, Rory Bryan had to drop to his knees to work that one away. Mohamed Boss, nowhere to go, slightly easily bullied, and the flag's up anyway. So that brings to an end that little foray forward. But you've got to like St Albans right now, because they have not been intimidated by the might of the Avengers, and they're still within a goal of the league leading opponents. Barcia, powerful left footer. They were talking about this was going to be the mismatch of the season. It certainly hasn't been so far. It's incredible to think that after round 3 and a free... now, that was off the ball, but now it's getting interesting. Now it's getting interesting. The Bunsen burner has been lit. The Saints player went to ground behind play, so it can't even say with any authority what happened. The referee's in there to take names and kick backsides, but in the meantime, there's a kind of a rugby scrum developing. Oh, it's on, don't worry about it. They're getting serious now. Stakes are high for both sides, push and shove. Valentini and Wilkes. So lots of accusatory fingers being pointed. Good stuff. Referee having a word to a couple of players. Hart's the man that is copping the brunt of it, but the yellow card, I think Reid picked up the yellow card. Now, I didn't see the offence. It was off the ball. Well, at least you know they're fair dinkum and they're back and ready to rumble after the second lockdown break. Threatened to spill out of control. I think the police. I've probably not called for. It wasn't that serious. Dylan Jacoby now having a discussion. It's becoming rather animated. Hart smiles and oh, that's top stuff. He's just gets in the ear of Reid. Oh wow, well, you know it's on, don't you? We've played 58 and a half. We lost a couple of minutes there though. It threatened to spill out of control, but Trachevsky, his pocket is picked. Jacoby. Oh, I tell you what, they are coming with a rush, aren't they, St Albans? And in the end, swept back by Towns to Rory Bryan, but they're chasing everything at the moment. Monek came at Jacoby at 100 miles an hour. This is good stuff by St Albans. Barcia needs some of his guile and skill. He showed it then to Katavian. Outside, inside, not sure. Hit the gap running. Ball spills loose. And St Albans will win possession as we hit the hour mark, and Saints are well in it. Exciting stuff at Avenger Park. Leap by Valentini. Trojewski was gentle off the outside of his right for Ahmed. Had to work to control it. 3 players come and belted clear by Chris Dibb. Well, there's been lots of threatening noises coming from the Avengers this afternoon, but apart from that 6-minute penalty, haven't been able to break down the doors. Trojewski. Jakubi is beaten to the punch. It was unfortunate then for Monic because just lost the run of it. Avenger ball, 60 played, 1 goal the difference. It's Avengers up here at Parkville this afternoon. Valentini, Jakubi. Oh, well done by Kim, and he runs for the return ball. Kim had just eluded him, and that's belted into the grandstand right now. I reckon this is just about go time for St Albans. If they can conjure something in the next couple of 5 or 10 minutes, they've got a real show in this. They're showing confidence beyond their bottom place on the ladder. Jakubi. And again, the pressure came from the blind side, from the speedy Monac. Ahmed. Towns doing a lot of work deep at the moment. This is great stuff by St Albans. They're just... they're not only hanging in, they're threatening. Rory Bryan on the deck. Takes a cannon off Valentini and nearly spilled for Ahmed, but instead St Albans will come up with it. Off they go again. Monic. Round the corner ball, just too long for Hart, and Rory Bryan draws it in, and there's going to be a couple of changes. Saints are going to the bench. As, well, they've got some momentum about them at the moment. Desic and Proznak coming into the game, so a double substitution for St Albans. 62 and a half played, and Saints are well in this one against, well, the not so mighty Avengers at the moment. Ricker Benet through traffic. Garage powers it clear, almost over the line. Ahmed tries to keep it in. Saints again, they're running with real commitment at the moment. The adrenaline's high. Valentini, nope. And Saints again come up with it. If they could just get onto the scoreboard, they'd be a chance here. Wilkes overran it. But plenty of orange shirts there. Belted upfield, and Avondale too going to the bench. I think Zenny and Liam Boland. Geez, there's some names. So, 2 substitutes from both sides ready to hit the ground running. 63 played. Avengers by 1. Joey Katabian toe taps at his own advantage, and oh. Gee, that was a cheap giveaway, St Albans. Oh, that's a big old physical struggle, and I reckon Hart has a fair old claim to that as well. He wasn't happy with the decision. He and Hillier went to ground, and so Stefan Zini checks in. As does Desic is in. Boland is in. Ahmed is out. So we've got a different game. So 4 substitutes, two for either side into the last 25 or so minutes. There's some quality in there for Avondale. Boland and Zinni. I reckon Avondale have been uncomfortably challenged by a side sitting at the bottom of the ladder this afternoon. Right now, anyway. It's been an interesting one. They've grown in confidence. As Jordan Wilkes angles it back for his goalkeeper, who had to produce one spectacular stop early in this second half. Only one goal in it. Stefan Valentini, penalty early on. Of course, one of the substitutes, he hits it with his left to the top of the penalty area. Reed got the away. They've looked more and more likely as this game has pressed on, St Albans. Full credit to them. They've got a hell of a fight to come in this relegation battle. Barcia. Towns, Boland, first touch, a little scooper for Towns, so gifted. Puts the handbrake on, then goes again. He couldn't take the garage out of it, though. There are a few blokes in here, the Saints right now, that are winning everything. This bloke, Monic, he's been busy. Powers up. Heads toward the penalty area. Jacoby goes with him. Monic and Jacoby, and they wrestle and scrap to the line. So St Albans again. Just threatening a little, aren't they? Doing well. They're going to escape through Zinni, but that spills for the two substitutes were there. It's kind of a mad bobbling ball, and the referee's going to call it against Stefan Zinni. He's only been out there for a couple of moments, as has Brosnia, as has Desic. So 3 of the 4 substitutes in the action, and Avondale not particularly convinced that should have been a free kick, but it is what it is. And the Saints against the breeze, against the top side in the competition, on the road. It'd be a hell of an outcome if they could get a result here this afternoon. 67 played. And St Albans with the free kick. Dead set square in front of goal. A chip ball over the top. It was cheeky, and well, the flag went up anyway. So it wouldn't have counted, but they're working at it, St Albans. They're sticking with it. It's an interesting one for Avondale. We know the sort of quality that they can produce. Like a V12 Rolls-Royce engine when they're on, but today they haven't been, and they've got so many big games to come. Maybe it's just a little bit of rust after the break, but there's no rust on this bloke. Barcia, change of direction. Again, as always, just patient. Avondale, the over the top ball. Zinni will track it down. He's quick. Not as quick as his old man, Stefan Zinni. Trachevsky. Well, he planted it inside. Kim will come up with it. Barcia goes against 2. Players tumble to the deck, and it's going to be a free kick to St Albans. Well, it hasn't risen to great heights, this one, but it's a gripping struggle nevertheless, and the visiting team from Churchill Reserve remain very much in the contest with around about 20 to come. Up and under from Barrow-Sevich, it's forced clear. Valentini, that was cheeky. Boland. Valentini. He tried to outrun Jordan Wilkes. He couldn't. But the last touch was that of the skipper of St Albans, so they'll get the corner, Avondale. They started the second half with a succession of corners without success. Trojewski gallops over to take it. Soren Markowski, I'm sure, will not be overly thrilled, although a win's a win's a win. Trojewski with the corner. City end, hot spot. Goalkeeper just got a palm to it. It went into no man's land. Saints will clear. Barcia, though, from the errant call out from the back, and here we go again. All patience and goals. Stefan Zinni. Well, he tried to power up, but St Albans will get the ball back. They are so dogged, so tenacious, aren't they, St Albans? So really vibrant and gutsy effort from St Albans here at Avenger Park this afternoon, and still only a goal in it with 19 to come. They've been really, well, they've toughed it out. Thus far, anyway. Trojewski. Boland looks up into the danger zone for Valentini. Curled it back. The flag is up. One count anyway, and it bobbles away past that far post at the city end. One goal from Stefan Valentini from the penalty spot early in the game, and that's all we've got to show for this second lockdown return game. Jakupi lets it bounce. Just a little lack of communication. The Saints then. So they go around the cape with it. There's intimated pressure from Saints as they chase at it. Towns at midfield, rounds the corner. He'll get it back. Oh, that was so good. That was silk. Boland was offside. The flag goes up, as it does well after the play, but it was always there. Liam Boland, he knew about it straight away, did the big number 9. St Albans. Trojewski was good there because he just edged Monek off the football at the appropriate time. You still get the feeling, that St Albans are in this. I kind of really like the way they've worked, particularly in this second half. Kim barrels after that one. The foot Kim, it just goes skimming into the danger zone. A big shout as Rory Bryan scoops it off the deck. Trojewski's away. Valentini kept it in. Boland shields the footy, does that so well, but Kim forces it away. St Albans, tenacity and courage and persistence by the Saints in the orange this afternoon. 15 or so to come. Barcia. Trojewski's been really busy today. He's seen plenty of the footy. Towns outside for Riccobene. Squeezes it down the line for Zinni, just into the game, along with that man, Liam Boland, who had to juggle the footy to the ground. Towns for Valentini. Valentini's left foot round the corner, Jakupi, and wow, really well done by the goalkeeper. He was brave and bold, and he went to the feet of Dylan Jakupi, who was in the penalty area. So they still can't kick the door down, the Avengers. They've got to play it down on the far side. Saints player, I'm not sure who it is from this vantage point. We won't get the corner straight away, and we'll just wait while the physio has a look. But St Albans have been really robust and brave in this one this afternoon, and still wanting to see the damage. Christib, he looks okay. He bounces up. He looks okay as he goes to take a rest. So they're down to 10 temporarily. Both sides two subs into the game already. Corner to the Avengers, 75 played. They lead by 1. Drawn back for Garcia. He goes far post, and they header from. That was actually Hilly getting forward. Brown goes long and high. This is great stuff. Kim, he's been busy. He's starting to really come into his own. Garcia has to match him physically. If nothing else, I reckon St Albans will take a lot away from this. Confidence-wise, anyway. So 77, I reckon, has been played in this one. There'll be little time added on, but right now, at least a good deal of the momentum with St Albans. Kim, he's really played his way into it, hasn't he? He's legged by Barcia, not happy. He just hands over the face of Barcia, not happy at all, but it's going to be a free kick to St Albans, coming in from an angle on this grandstand side. We're broadcasting, of course, if you're not familiar with the look, we're broadcasting from the grandstand rather than from the broadcast position. This afternoon, FA exclusive coverage. 4 big games today. This is the first of them. And Avondale with a 1-0 lead as Monek, and the header by Hart, I think it was, and it glanced, and it just off the crossbar at that social club end, and it's a heartbreaker, isn't it? That may have been the moment from St Albans, but they're threatening still. St Albans have played Avondale, I think, 5 times from memory. They haven't beaten them. Best effort's a draw. Still in this one this afternoon. As the skies threaten just a little. It's become very, significantly dark here at Avenger Park this afternoon. And the battle's on again. There between Reed and Hart, and it's Valentini. Well, he's getting scruffed and scragged all the way down to the ground, and and he just wants a little bit of Joey Monek, and they exchange pleasantries as the referee comes in and reasons with them, impassioned pleas. But Valentini just then, I reckon he probably was a little hardly done by, and Saints are going to go to the bench again, and I reckon this time it's going to be enforced, because I reckon Dibb's coming out of this one. He's hurt. He was hurt a little while back, and he'll come out of this one. So Saints get their 3rd player into the contest. St Albans are revving their engine right now and threatening the league leaders. Boland under pressure by 3. The numbers win out. Kim, Monek, ball takes a bit of a cannon. It's Sims who's freshly into the contest. And the ball's going to come back, and there's Liam Boland is going to get yellow carded. As gets a bit willing again. Liam Boland's furious. St Albans ball. They're just they're managing to aggravate the Avengers as well. I reckon they're getting down, just getting under their skin at the moment. Into the last 10 minutes. It's the 18th game of the season. Round 23 though. Goalkeeper stands his ground and just takes it in at eye height with a leap to Rory Bryan. They may come away with a W, the Avengers. They may take a 10-point lead at the top, but I don't think they'll be overly satisfied with this one. Or are we doing a discredit to St Albans, who have stood toe-to-toe with the Avengers this afternoon? Shatay Towns over half field. Inside for Zinni. On the deck, Barcia looks up. He hits Valentini. It's cannoned away from Valentini. Well done by Sims and Kim and Saints clear. Monek, the back header on. Hart beaten to it by his much bigger opponent, Barcia, for Trachevsky. There's a little air of urgency about the Avengers right now. Dillinger Coopy. Trachevsky spins out of traffic. Nothing doing though. Saints keep him honest. And the ball just kind of spins away from him. St Albans come up with it again. Great stuff by the Saints. Barcia kept his head. But Reed. Well, look, there's a bit of pressure out there right now. Sims and Kim. It's game on here at Avondale. Don't worry about that. Liam Boland. And he had, there's far too much jet fuel in that one. Oh, Towns almost chase it down. It carooms in the air, but St Albans will clear again. So we've got about 8 to play, and St Albans are coming home with a head of steam. Good stuff by the cellar dwellers. Really good stuff. Avondale will have to produce something special. Ahmed almost did. I reckon that was Sims at the bottom of the feet of Ahmed. Zinni comes up with it thanks to the slip from the St Albans player. Well, this is turning into a thumper right now. About 7 to play in regulation. There'll be a bit of stoppage. Zinni, right foot takes a cannon. It spins away across the goal face. We've got a couple of St Albans players on the deck right now. Well, it's been a little bit of crash and bash and a little bit of tenacity from the Saints. And right now the Avengers will just to be happy, I reckon, to frank a win. And that's not guaranteed right now, but they are the best finishers in the competition. 15 of their 37 goals for the year have come in the last 15 minutes of games. So it is Avenger time. .83 played, it's going to be a corner. James Riccobeni taking plenty of time just to saunter down to the corner flag at the city end. Puts it on the tee. Well, it's knife's edge stuff right now. Avengers can put it away, but St Albans are coming with a rush, and still waiting for that St Albans player on that far side. He looks okay. The physios said you're right to go. He'll have to wait to check back in though. So eventually, at some point, we'll get this corner into the last 5 minutes, and I reckon there's some rain on its way, but hopefully we can avoid that. Near post cross was not quite what the doctor ordered, and it's going to be St Albans relaunching from the city end. Well, been a really courageous performance. I reckon they're going to clear the bench, St Albans. So Saints with 5 minutes to roll the dice against the league leaders. Got to like what they've come with this afternoon, those St Albans. You really do. Shown some real courage. Zinni slides it inside for Boland, but again the defence holds firm. The ball squeaked away for Saints. Barcia inside his own half has to swivel, and while all around him scramble, Barcia keeps his head. Elliot Jacobi, but they're not getting many avenues to play through. Zinni was good, hooked it inside for himself, went to ground after the play. Barcia, Towns, Franceschi. That might be it. And in Avenger time, it is the Avenger, Stefan Valentini, makes it 2-0, his second of the game, and that ices it, I reckon, but by jingos, that's a really big blow. That's a smack in the chops for St Albans, because they've given everything in this second half. But Valentini's golden run continues. He got the opener from a penalty. He gets the second, and I reckon the Saints are done. But they've been really brave this afternoon. The Avengers, it's in Avenger time. Who's surprised? 16 of their goals this year now in the last 15 minutes of games. That's the way they do it. They close it out. Like a tight band, they just wait, and just before you know it. So the sting all of a sudden goes out of the game. Barcia. He nearly copped one for his corner after the play, and it's out of play. It's threatened a couple of times to get a little bit ugly. So St Albans, they host Heidelberg next Sunday. So they go now 15 games without a win, St Albans. But you'd fancy them to give a show after this one. They've been really, really good, spirited, if you will, against the league's top dogs. Again, those brooding dark clouds are starting to roll in from the east. So there's some rain on the way now. I reckon Avondale are going to clear the bench as well as we head into the last 2 minutes of regulation. Dylan Jacobi. Wilkes, the skipper, he's been manful today. So the return, the second return after the lockdown, Avengers will go 5 straight wins and 15 without a loss in the competition, and 10 points clear at the expense of a really gallant St Albans as we head into the last 60 seconds of this one. We'll get a bit of time added on. So some quality out as Towns and Stefan Valentini get a rest after having to really arm wrestle their way past the Saints this afternoon. Avondale ball, so maybe they can ice it now. It is all over Barter shouting, I suspect. Rick had been a headache, caused a few problems. Wilkes. He just got buffeted and calls for handball. The referee calls the free kick. Saints want to move it quickly. Well, they've still got ambitions, haven't they, St Albans? But pretty sure that the horse has bolted. So Stefan Valentini, how about this bloke? That's 2 in 3 consecutive games. He's 14th of the season, so he's now top scorer in the competition. 4 minutes of time added on. 4 minutes for St Albans maybe to conjure something of a miracle. I reckon it's just about all over, but St Albans will take so much away from this. For Avondale, they're going to look toward Tuesday night and a quarter-final Doherty Cup matchup against the Sharkies. So again, it's going to be a lot of manoeuvring and a lot of thought put into selection process for Zoran Markowski and his team in the weeks to come as the fixtures become a little bit congested for his side. The Avengers in their bid to finally, well, I've seen the summit many, many times, but they've yet to plant the flag, the Avengers. Is 2021 going to be the year? 2.5 remaining in injury time in this second half. And as we roll to the end of this particular game in round 23, but a couple of belters to come this evening. Actually, some rip snorters to come in the NPL here in Victoria in the weeks to come. And Avondale are going to be central to the narrative. I see anguish as he can't reach that one. This bloke's been really good, Joey Monick, and a shot from downtown takes a cannon away and might be a Saints corner. They still haven't thrown in the towel. So a late game corner, about 90 seconds to come in this one. It is not a match that has risen to any great heights, but it's had its moments. And we get the result that we thought we might, as Corey Bryan just arched the back. He's almost unbalanced, but it's going to be... Did that go in? I reckon that went in. That was right behind our cameraman. Wow, so St Albans get a goal back, and I've got to apologise because I actually couldn't see who got it in the net. But Saints are back in it. Holy moly. With about 50 seconds in stoppage time remaining, it's 2-1. St Albans are on the board. And again, my apologies because we're sitting not in the broadcast area but in the grandstand. And it's an advantage position, but Saints, they deserve that. Oh, could this be another one of those? We've had 49 comebacks in the competition this year, and St Albans have got about 30 seconds to produce something remarkable. I'll try and check for you the goal scorer for St Albans in stoppage time. It's an Avondale ball. The flag was up. We have the fourth official right in front of us, so I'm going to see if I can conjure that information. But St Albans, from behind, in stoppage, it's 2-1. So we've had the 4 minutes allotted for time added on. Stunning stuff. Well, they've been gritty, but now they've hit the scoreboard, St Albans. There will not be much time to play with that one, and there isn't much time to play as the Big old bank of dark clouds come in. Rain not far away at Avondale. In a quite extraordinary, look, befitting of the circumstances. With no crowds in, another lockdown just ended. In a surreal ending in this one at Avenger Park this afternoon. Avengers get up by 2-1. St Albans show us that it ain't over till it's over. They've certainly got a pulse going into the business end of the year. Avengers go clean, but nothing convincing about that one. A couple of goals from Stefford Valentini, where there's no shocks there. So as the afternoon becomes evening, Avondale 10 points clear at the top of the NPL in Victoria, and the struggles continue for St Albans. Final score in this one, it's Avondale 2, St Albans 1.